the Mental Health Awareness Day that it was this week. And ironically, I actually didn't realise it was Mental Health Awareness Day until I saw people posting about it on social media, which partly made me realise what a crazy world, and, life goes so fast so often that we don't acknowledge these days. And the whole point of them is for us to sort of take a pause and to remind ourselves what we are doing about the cause, and especially this subject of mental health. I think it was literally a couple of weeks ago, I actually went and spoke at a networking event and shared my a moment in time, let's say, that actually made me realise that my life that I was leading in the corporate world was 100% not serving me any longer, and how I needed to make some serious changes in my life to ultimately start pursuing happiness again, rather than following what I thought I should be doing, and what, the road that I had taken actually was no longer serving me. So I thought it would be very appropriate for me to share the recording from that networking event on the podcast.
Welcome to the Wedding Business Growth Coach podcast, a podcast dedicated to sharing everything you need in bite-sized episodes to set up your wedding business for success and get your diary fully booked, full of those dream wedding clients. You're here with me, Jen Maynard, Wedding Business Growth Coach and founder of the Boho Bride Guide wedding blog and supply directory. Each episode is full of value and structured around my wedding business anchor fundamentals framework to give you straightforward, step-by-step activities to put in place into your business that will position yourself as the go-to wedding supplier within your specialism. Let's go!
Hello, and welcome to this episode of the Wedding Business Growth Coach podcast. It is fabulous to have you here with me today. Jen Maynard here. And this week, I thought I would take a slightly different tack with the podcast to mark the Mental Health Awareness Day that it was this week. And ironically, I actually didn't realise it was Mental Health Awareness Day until I saw people posting about it on social media, which partly made me realise what a crazy world, and, life goes so fast so often that we don't acknowledge these days. And the whole point of them is for us to sort of take a pause and to remind ourselves what we are doing about the cause, and especially this subject of mental health. I think it was literally a couple of weeks ago, I actually went and spoke at a networking event and shared my a moment in time, let's say, that actually made me realise that my life that I was leading in the corporate world was 100% not serving me any longer, and how I needed to make some serious changes in my life to ultimately start pursuing happiness again, rather than following what I thought I should be doing, and what, the road that I had taken actually was no longer serving me. So I thought it would be very appropriate for me to share the recording from that networking event on the podcast. And so I suppose my message today is to just take that moment and think, what is your why? When life gets so hectic and you literally don't know your ass from your elbow. I mean, that is my world quite regularly at present. Being a mom, building my businesses in the wedding world, being a friend, being a husband, being a wife to my husband, and trying to keep all of those balls in the air is bloody exhausting. Whilst at the same time trying to be me and walking up Mount Snowdon like I did this weekend. I mean, trying to fit everything into life is hard, and getting that balance right is hard. And I find having the right people around me. So when I am exhausted and when might not be, talking to myself in the best light, I need those people to actually say, hang on, Jen, actually what you've just done, yeah, you might not have achieved the target, that this number that I came up with off the top of my head. Maybe you haven't reached that, but actually what you have achieved is absolutely unreal. And yeah, having the right people, that community around me, reminding me that some of the intangible numbers that I put on my goals and that sort of thing, if I haven't got there, it's not necessarily a negative. Focusing on what have you achieved and what lives you have impacted for the better is what we need to be reminding ourselves of. But yeah, the overwhelm is real. The stress levels can get, and especially when tiredness is a factor. My boys still don't sleep through the night, and that has a real impact. When I'm feeling tired, I need that sleep, and when I don't get it, that then impacts what's going on in my world. Anyway, I have dribbled on about my world an awful lot. What I wanted to say was, life gets hard, and as a small business owner in the wedding industry, it will get hard. It will get tough. We will feel overwhelmed. We will feel like we can't carry on at times in the pursuit of building our business. And I suppose today is that reminder of when you feel like that, it's reminding yourself why you started your own business. And especially for me, that was to actually get away from overwhelm, stress, and to pursue things that truly make me happy. And reminding myself that in that moment of feeling, what am I doing? It's actually, come on, Jen, remind yourself why you're doing this. You are doing this to build community, to make a difference in other people's lives. Let's take a breather. Let's go and get a cup of tea. Let's go and have a chat with those valuable people in my life that actually bring me down and level me out, and remind myself that what I'm doing is amazing, what I'm doing is of value, what I'm doing is worthy, and put my little monkey back in its box, because it does like to come out quite frequently. Mental health is something that is really close to my heart. Especially when I was in the corporate world, and in the last 5 years, I've been on a journey to bring myself into a world that is happy, that is not pursuing things that what I should be doing rather than what I want to be doing, and what puts a smile on my face, makes me truly feel fulfilled inside. But yeah, it's not easy. So please do enjoy my little introduction, and it shares a little bit of a slice of why I started to pursue my own small business within the wedding industry. And just take a reminder to remind yourself why you started. So in those times of overwhelm, just having that in your back pocket to remind yourself, this is why I made this decision to move into this direction, and hold on tight to that. And yeah, keep that close to you, so it gives you perspective and reminds you why you're doing it, because that definitely helps. Anyway, I hope you enjoy. Here we go. I first wanted to say thank you so much to Kim and Fiona this morning. As driving here, it reminded me that this was the very first networking event that I came to when I was on mat leave for the first time from my corporate job, and I just started my first small business. So the power of this room and what happens in this room is so powerful. So lovely to hopefully meet you all later as well. I would like to take you or share a little story with you this morning of how a woman decided her current version of reality was no longer serving her, and how she transformed her world by finding her self-worth, by letting go of fear, and by practicing relentless consistency. One dark, drizzly evening in early 2017, a young professional woman came in late to her home after a terrible day in the office. As she walked into her kitchen, hands full with her laptop, papers, and her handbag in tow, she laid eyes on her husband, who was standing at the kettle making a cuppa. With the relief of being home, what was initially silent tears running down her face quickly turned into an eruption of hysterical crying, and she physically collapsed to her knees. As her husband rushed over to see what was wrong, she looked up with complete terror in her eyes and said, "I can't do this anymore." Her chest began to constrict tightly, and her heart was thumping uncontrollably. She couldn't catch her breath, her arms and legs felt heavy with adrenaline, and she felt completely out of control. Her husband managed to gain eye contact with her and told her to breathe. And gradually, after a long 10 minutes of feeling like she was having a heart attack, she quickly realised that she was having her first panic attack, and she gradually got that to calm. While sitting on the floor in her corporate fitted dress, mascara tears running down her cheeks, and her husband embracing her, consoling her and telling her it's going to be okay, she realised that this was the moment that something was seriously wrong with the version of reality that she had created, and that she was no longer, this was no longer the life that she was willing to compromise for. And if you haven't already realised, that woman was me. I ended up off work for 3 months with stress and anxiety. And panic attacks ramped up to a daily occurrence, and fear was a major factor in my everyday. Being a successful, ambitious person that outwardly always had her shit together, this was seriously the scariest time in my life, and I felt completely out of control. After going to the doctors and not getting much help at all, I decided to employ 2 coaches that specialised in professional women and supporting them through times of crisis. And I quickly realised that on top of navigating a really high-pressured corporate role, managing ongoing fertility issues and caring for my elderly nan, I was also neglecting my creative being, what truly lit me up, and I also needed to do some serious personal work around my self-worth and the fact that I had a voice and that it was worthy of being heard. Previously living through my head, I'd always lived my life on what I should be doing, what I thought was the right thing, and following the healthy paycheck, whilst at the very same time neglecting my heart and what lit me up every day, which was creativity, innovation, and community building, where I'm ultimately the best version of me and where my strengths lie. This realisation was the beginning of me living a more authentic, fulfilling, and truly happy life. Over the last 5 years, I've been on a journey of self-discovery, motherhood, and entrepreneurship. And I've learnt to acutely listen to what makes me happy and how I want to live my life. I've learnt to tap into my own intuition and stop seeking consent. I've learnt that by implementing systems and healthy habits into my everyday as a busy mom, that I ensure that I get the most important business activity smashed out in the morning before then whatever happens as a mom we deal with. I've learnt that self-development and continuous learning is the key to innovation and business endurance. And I've stopped listening to other people's opinions, particularly those that are close to me, that are emotionally filled. I've learned to stop wasting my positive headspace and therefore minimise my exposure to the news and sort of mindless social media.
So why am I telling you this? So rather than coming today talking about my business and what I do, I wanted to give you the opportunity to take a pause and remind yourself why you do what you do. And remind yourself that however difficult the day-to-day may feel, pushing your beloved business up that sort of metaphorical hill, that in 1, 2, 3 years from now, you will look back and say, I did that. Sorry. And living an authentic life. I always get
It's because you're passionate, that's why.
Jeez.
I'm going to move over here because I want to take a photo. It's all right,
I've got answering as well.
And living an authentic life that you cannot wait to live is worth every ounce of frustration, overwhelm and tears on that journey. So keep going. So hi, I'm Jo Maynard. I'm Wedding Business Growth Coach and the founder of the Boho Bride Guide. And I enable creative businesses to position themselves as an expert within their area of specialism by utilising their online presence and and harnessing that sort of creating them as the go-to within their world of expertise. I do this through my 2 businesses, Wedding Business Growth Coach and the Boho Bride Guide. So in the Wedding Business Growth Coach, I enable wedding businesses within the first 3 years of business to set up for success through my one-to-one coaching program and my free education podcast that is full of bite-sized, easy to implement pieces of gold to put into your small business. So that's called the Wedding Business Growth Coach podcast. So please do check it out. It's relevant to all small businesses. And I'm the founder of the Boho Bride Guide, which is a blog, supplier directory and community where bohemian souls discover their dream wedding team. The major benefit of what I do in the Boho Bride Guide is bring together suppliers into a community where they're championing and cheerleading each other on. We get together every month on Zoom and we've got a Facebook group, and it's basically keeping you going on like the sounding board. It's just that place where you can go and actually network, connect, but support each other because it's not easy on the everyday, and we do keep each other going. I'm open for applications throughout September. So if you are interested, or if you know anyone that is looking to position themselves within the wedding industry in their small business, on your table there is a little QR code, and that will take you straight to my all the benefits of the Guide Directory subscription. As Fiona mentioned earlier, I'll be back in November to share a mini workshop with you all around my Setup for Success framework, just to get you in the zone and ready for 2023. Thank you ever so much.
So there you have it. I hope you took away some value from my story and that little extract that I shared with the networking group a couple of weeks ago. As I said, we are very much all on our own journey. We all have our own challenges that we have to navigate and sort of overcome. But I suppose my top things to keep in mind as sort of mental health protection and sort of like putting that extra layer of care in, which is very much around find your community, find those people that get it. They get what you're going through, they get the challenges and what you're facing, and can sort of champion and cheerlead you through those times. And also those people that are going to be honest with you and sort of, as I said, rebalance, recalibrate how you see that situation. So find those people and keep them in your life, hold them dear, and value what they have to say about maybe your perspective, and sort of just to realign how you see things. The other thing is, be conscious about how you talk to yourself. We all, especially myself, we all do it. I find when I'm tired, my internal self-talk can become quite critical without me realizing. And so be really mindful and aware of this. So when it starts getting critical, pull it back, rein it back, and actually reframe how you talk to yourself, because it makes a massive difference. And sometimes you might need that external help from the community to reframe how you talk to yourself. But yes, be very conscious of that. And my third and final point is to celebrate those small wins, however small they may be. Some days it will feel like you are going backwards, and sometimes we have to go backwards to gradually go forwards. But just celebrate those wins, even the acknowledgement that, okay, today I've gone backwards, but tomorrow will be better. And it's all temporary. If you're having a bad day, a bad hour, it is all temporary, and you are in that driver's seat to move forward. So by celebrating those small wins, will just give you that little bit of that feel good hormone to move you forward to that next stage. But have an amazing day. Speak kindly to yourself, go and do something that puts a smile on your face, and I will very much look forward to seeing you on the next podcast episode. Take it steady.
My new free downloadable activity pack is now available. Get visible, build connection. The free resource provides you with everything you need to plan one whole year's worth of Face of Your Business online content to build an authentic brand that aligns with you as a person and builds that all-important connection between you and your audience. The activity pack includes a bonus template for you to take away and plan your 4 years worth of Face of Your Business posts, taking out the overwhelm and kicking you into action. So what are you waiting for? Download yours today at weddingbusinessgrowthcoach.com/biz-resources. Thank you for listening to this episode of the Wedding Business Growth Coach podcast. I would love to hear what you took away today and how you have implemented it into your business over on Instagram at Wedding Business Growth Coach. Please do DM me direct and I'll give you a shout out on my stories. See you next time.